but I thought we did a good job. I thought Caleb's aggressiveness offensively set the tone. Our guys, I think, have done a good job finding him throughout the year. He faced more single coverage today. Did a good job sealing and kind of setting the tone there with some early scores and physical play.
Chris, this is a pretty good offensive rebounding team you faced. Was this a better performance from you guys in that area?
Yeah, it's been a focal point for us. Many thanks to you guys continually pointing it out. I'm kidding. But it has been a focal point for us, and you're right. They go and get it and chase it, and they send 4, sometimes 5. So, and they're quick to the ball. They're really quick to the ball. So that was I think a move forward for us. But again, we move forward in that area, and then we have too many defensive lapses, and we're sloppy with the ball at times. So, we got a long ways to go.
Chris, if you would have been told, at the beginning of the season you're 4-0, what would need to go right for you to be 4-0? What would you have said? And then 4 games in, are those things the case that have led to you being 4-0?
I would say I would think we would need to have a consistent defensive effort, and I think in the bulk of the games we have had that. And then I would say that I would think that our balance to our team, which I think can be a strength, would need to be evident. Today, now Keyshawn was having a little bit of a stomach bug today, but look at the way he was in this game. He had such a tremendous game last game, and in this game, he didn't play a whole lot. Part of that was because of the stomach bug. Part of that was just other guys. And his approach and his leadership on the bench was phenomenal. And I think that's a good example for our younger guys. So, you need a lot of that to get off to a good start. But, like I said, we've got a long ways to go in a lot of areas, for sure.
As you look into this next stretch where the next 4 games are on at home, what is the focus of the team moving forward, and what do you want to see? What's the most important thing in these next 4 games?
Continue to try to build the habits of how we want to play on a consistent basis. And we talked about that at halftime. Can we continue to reinforce the habits of how we want to play possession by possession? I think that's the only way you consistently get better, is your team embraces that and more guys understand what they have to do on each possession to play a certain way. We want to have a great commitment on both ends every possession. So I think that's the only way. In practice and in games, we've got to keep doing that. And if we do that, it'll help us in this stretch. And the biggest thing we want to continue to challenge our guys with is let's make sure winning doesn't get in the way of progress and growth. And I think that our guys understand that you can win and still not play quite like we need to play, and sometimes you can lose, and that gets clouded because maybe you play better than what you did when you won. So we're trying to make sure winning doesn't get in the way of progress and growth. I think that's important for a young team in a new season.
Obviously, you guys are playing 3 freshmen that are getting good minutes, but games like this, games like the Purdue-Fort Wayne game, when you are able to build that comfortable lead, how important is it for those guys to just continue to get the speed of college basketball and adjust?
Well, it helps. It certainly helps to be able to play multiple guys and different lineups and young guys and new guys, having 5 new guys that that are playing consistently for us, or pretty consistently for us. So to be able to do that is really important, and early in the year, and we've seen some good things.
Chris,
do you have a follow-up? I'm sorry.
Just Caleb, obviously the last game you guys had to take him off the court quite a bit, and I know you mentioned he was maybe dealing with something, but tonight feeding him early and often, and the success he had, just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought Caleb really set the tone with his aggressiveness offensively and pursuing the ball. I thought he pursued the ball pretty well as well. Yeah, he just had some illness and some fatigue that I think factored in the other game, but I thought he really set the tone in a lot of ways, and like I said, I mean, he's been trapped or double teamed in some way every game, but certainly in the first 3 games So he's got to continue to make the right play if teams are going to throw two bodies at him on his catches. But he did a good job kind of slipping out of some screens and setting some and popping and making the right read. And we've really challenged him to continue to do that, playing on the perimeter some. And he was, he was hunting those threes today. And I think, most of them were good. And I liked seeing that. I liked seeing his aggressiveness there. And his teammates did a good job finding him. I really applaud his teammates too.
You have a group of 4 guards that you play quite a bit in a combination of 3 a lot of times.
Yeah.
I think today 33 and 10 among 3 of them, even with Keyshawn having an off night. How do you like to use them, and do you consider that almost luxurious?
Well, I think most programs have that number of guards. Most because you need to have depth there. I'm very excited about those guys and their progress this year. But I think again our team, you're going to see on different nights different guys making really important plays. I just think that is the makeup of this team, and we've seen that. We have seen that time and time again here in these first couple games where different guys on different nights have been critical to our success. But I think we've got the appropriate amount of depth there, if that's what you're asking.
I'm more interested in the deployment also. They threw a lot of looks at you with presses, zones,
Yeah.
and they throw a man at you.
Yes.
And it seems to lend a lot of flexibility, especially given that 2 of these guys are freshmen and sort of just getting their feet wet.
Yeah. No, it's good. I do think, times we'll play 3 guards. I think I say that in today's game, it's almost like you're playing 4, 5 guards at times, right? I mean, it's that's the way the game is moved. But yeah, we tried to keep it. They did show us a lot of different looks. We tried to keep it really simple in our attack. And when you have perimeter players out there that have a good feel for the game, it certainly helps.
Caleb's right knee, is that it was braced up?
He's had a brace since
Cincinnati.
yeah, I think maybe he did it right before the Cincinnati game. Like literally 2 practices before the Cincinnati game, he had to sit out. And our trainer, it's precautionary. Although he did injure his brother on the bench when his brother banged knees with the brace. I think Dre is day-to-day right now.
And with we all heard how raw he was coming in, but he looks like he's getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah, I think he is too. And there's, I think because he's a big, strong guy, there's a rawness element to that too. But he's a guy that he's got really good touch. Right now, he's got really good touch to 15 feet. You see that on the line, maybe not as much today, but normally he's got really good touch. He can handle the ball. What we want to do is continue to extend his 3-point shooting, which it's getting there. Not saying it's going to happen this year, but he's got really good range from 15. He's a really good mid-range shooter right now.
So these games coming back and forth so quickly, a lot of times to talk to you, so I'm just curious your thoughts right now. Big Ten in general, it seems like it's been a big week for the conference. I know you're focused on your team, but what has it been like to watch like the Gabby game to see how some of these teams have held their own, and Michigan beating Villanova the way they did?
It's been a mixture of pride and excitement and dread. It's all those emotions wrapped in one. So I have to, I watch it because I want to watch it. I'm interested, and then they're playing so well that I say, let's go watch the ACC or something. It's been the league has had a listen. I felt like the league was going to be deep and have a very good year. You tell that, and people. And we still got a lot of work to do, right? I mean, it's only 3 or 4 games into it, but the early returns are that the league is really deep and really capable, and really, really talented. And I felt like that. I might even told some of you guys that. We'll see how we all continue to improve and get better. There's been countless stories of teams that have started out 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, and can't buy a win come January and February. So I think for every coach right now, you're focused solely on your team and its growth. But as you peer and hear about scores, it's been really impressive.
Chris, obviously it's early, but Keyshawn seems like a guy who is maybe a puzzle piece, like whatever kind of puzzle piece you need, he has a feel for what the team needs.
Yeah.
How much of that comes from just him being a smart guy, smart basketball player? How much of it is from you telling him before the game, this is what we're going to need from you?
He deserves the bulk of the credit for that. Smart, really good feel for the game. Those are the things that come to mind with him. He's smart. He's a smart kid. Played a lot of basketball. That helps too. But really good feel for the game. Just high IQ.
And then a different topic. You mentioned the flu bug. What do coaches go through when one guy gets it on the team? You just expect it to go through. Do you want it to happen? Is now the best time for something like that to happen rather than obviously March or February?
No, it's never a good time, to be honest with you. It's not spread as much. You know, our training staff tries to kind of quarantine them and keep them away from the other guys. And we have been hit a little bit with flu bugs and a couple nagging injuries, definitely more so than we were last year at this time. I don't know what necessarily if that's a byproduct of anything, but you know, you just try to get them to see our training staff. Jeff does a tremendous job of being on top of it, getting guys what they need. Keyshawn just got a little ill right before the game today. We weren't quite sure if it was flu bug or if he just ate something, but we were trying to keep an eye on that.
Chris, I know it's early, but have the three freshmen, especially with the Washington and Mohammed, have they kind of surprised you with how well they played so far?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think so. I think all four of them in practice have been kind of what we thought in terms of their productivity and how capable we thought they could be. I'm also very aware that they're all going to go through ups and downs, and they're going to hit stretches where they're just going to be like, whoa, this is a long season. And, you know, even today you saw those guys kind of, I mean, they went at a few of our freshmen off the dribble. And I just think we've seen that a lot too, but I thought they all would be able to come in and make an impact. And especially the two guards, because that's where we had less depth. So that's where I felt like those two would just, they were going to be forced into the issue earlier than the other two.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.